in USA. Marcy is 53 years of age, and she's actually the director of the volunteers for the candidates in the elections at the moment over in the US. So I won't say which side because I want to keep everyone smiling on the interview. So welcome, Marcy.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for inviting me.
My pleasure. Now, first up, what I'd love you to do is tell us, have you ever supplemented with glutathione before, or is this your first time?
So one other time I did, it was a while back. I had a virus that's going around, and a clinical herbologist suggested that I use glutathione powder in a liquid. I have some lung issues, and I've had those for quite some time. So I found it helpful.
Okay, interesting. So this is the first time you used our product. And with that in mind, I'm going to get you to share your G-rated version of your experience, right? Because we're not making any claims at all. Having said that, what was the first thing you noticed when you started using our products?
So, I've had quite a bit of discomfort in my joints for quite some time, a few years. And they were so bad, and it's my joints throughout my whole body. They were so bad that I would need to basically fall into my recliner because I couldn't even bend really to sit down. And then I'd have to use my recliner to lift my legs up and slowly put it back down. And that was just in the spring. And I started using the Neumi products in May. And I found that the discomfort that I was experiencing has disappeared and my joints are so much more flexible and manageable. And, it was about a week and a half ago was my son's wedding. And I was able to dance at his wedding all night long. I mean, we're talking hours in heels. And I never thought that would be possible, ever.
That is fantastic. Fantastic. And I'm sure your son was happy as well. So now I understand you've also been using Neumi spray. What have you noticed with that?
So it's so funny. I started using the spray and I was using a lot of the spray, but because I love it. It just feels so great on my skin. But it was probably about 10 weeks and my friends started commenting about how my skin was glowing. And, I haven't heard that my skin was glowing since I was pregnant. The last time I was pregnant was, my son is going to be 21 in April. So it's been a while. And my complexion is so much better than it's ever been. And I feel like I'm literally aging backwards.
Fantastic. Well, I know a lot of people watching this right now that have also had an opportunity to use the products. If you feel like you're aging backwards as well, type in aging backwards. So with that in mind, in addition to that, what have I got here? You mentioned something about your sleep patterns as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, I've always been a very poor sleeper, very restless nights. But since I've been swishing, I have solid sleep every night, which, here's the awesome thing, has impacted my energy levels. So I have energy every day, and one of the really cool things is I'm always in a good mood. Like it's just every day I'm in a great mood. So I've noticed, maybe that's just from more sleep, but I'm always in a good mood. And, the other thing I can do, I love to golf. My husband and we have always bought season passes every year for golfing. And I can play golf again. And we go every weekend. And just from having so much energy, being able to do things, I've actually lost quite a bit of weight. So
fantastic.
It's been a great experience all the way around.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Marcy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the thorn, and I say this politely because Keith's a good friend of mine, but the thorn between the two roses. I'm going to now interview Keith Chuzon from Louisiana. Keith is 59 years of age. He's an operations director for a property management company. So welcome, Keith.
Hey, Michael. Well, thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure. Now, I understand that you had not supplemented with glutathione ever before in your life, but you've seen some fantastic well-rounded results since you started using the products. And you mentioned something about energy, but also some discomfort in your shoulder. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Never before used a glutathione supplement, but I knew pretty much a lot about it. So when we were first introduced to it, it didn't take me long to run to my wallet and get a credit card to purchase it. So I was pretty fired up about getting it in, because for almost a year I'd been dealing with some severe discomfort in my neck and my shoulder. I was carrying a mattress up a couple flights of stairs, and I go left to go into the condo, the weight shifts and it goes right, and I was trying to hold it up like a man, right? And I just felt everything just kind of rip in here all the way through my right arm. And it was the most god-awful feeling you could ever imagine. And I tried just about everything you can imagine to relieve the discomfort that I had been feeling. It would wake me up in the middle of the night, 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm pacing the floor, putting on a pot of coffee because I can't go back to sleep. So when I heard about this, I ordered it. We got it in a few days later. I swish. 2 teaspoons. Jamie did it too. She goes out to the car. We're going to dinner like 5 o'clock the first day. I'm an overachiever, so I run to the counter, get me another teaspoon. I do it again. And later on that night, I did it one more time for 4 teaspoons. And Michael, for the first time in almost a year, I actually slept all night long. And that was exciting to me. I wasn't completely rid of the discomfort in the morning when I got up. And so I did the same thing, the same routine again. You know, I did 2 teaspoons in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. This was just because I was anxious to feel better. And so I did the whole same routine. I went to bed Thursday night. I woke up, I slept all night long, woke up Friday morning for the first time. And ever since that day, I've been completely free of all discomfort from that injury. Talk about exciting.
That's great. And look, being 54 myself, I can say all of a sudden, what do they say? You know, when you're getting old, your joints go out more than you do. So that's fantastic to hear about. Now, a lot of people talk about having better sleep when supplementing with our products, right? That's quite common. I hear it all the time. But you said you weren't a poor sleeper at all, but you have noticed something relating to sleep. Tell us about that.
No, for the longest time, I go right out, right? It was easy to do. And but one thing I've noticed is that I sleep a lot deeper. Actually having really vivid dreams that I could recall and really think about them, trying to discover their meanings, I guess. But so that's been really interesting and a refreshment to me, because I know one thing, that when you're sleeping and you're getting to that good deep REM sleep, you're really resting and your body is repairing. And so I know that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can relate to that. We were on planes around the world recently and not sleeping versus getting home and sleeping all the way through is like, oh, that feels so good. Now, you're flat out managing oodles and oodles of properties in your job, but you're also using multiple devices, which I can relate to. I've got about 6 of them looking at me right now, right?
Sure.
And you mentioned that the products seem to help you in that way somehow. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, for I've been doing property management remotely for about 3.5 years. I use both devices, the phone and the laptop, and I'm constantly back and forth, right? And for the longest time, in the afternoon, I'd have to kind of take a break and close my eyes and just kind of rest them, because it would kind of start to get blurry on me. And so ever since I've been switching, I've noticed that my vision's been really, really supported well, to the point where I'm not having to stop working and rest my eyes anymore, which is a really, really cool thing. That makes you a little bit more productive, right? Totally. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I think also this is really topical right now. Think about the last 2 years, and I can relate to this. Build our business right around the world, sitting in front of a computer screen because of Zoom and, that thing that's gone around the world that affected everyone's businesses. So doing that, we're all staring at computers. And I think the ophthalmologist, I can never pronounce that word, ophthalmologists are going to be making a killing. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Keith, for sharing. And now we're going back to one of the roses. So if we go to a different part of the world, just going to bring this up in front of me, we're going to interview Irene, who's all the way from Northern Virginia in the USA. She's 53 years of age. She's a real estate agent, has been for 27 years and loves it. So welcome, Irene.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the compliment, because I'm 55 actually.
Oh, there you go.
But so I'm turning backwards. I feel it.
We're all aging backwards. So I understand that you haven't supplemented with glutathione before in any way, but you've been taking our product for about 3 months. So what's the first thing you noticed?
Yes, first of all, I never heard of glutathione. I couldn't even pronounce it. It took me a while. So I had to Google to see what that is. So when I found the product, because when I turned 50, my hormones start changing and my body start going downhill. You know how that is when you turn older. And I had a lot of discomfort on my joints and my underneath my feet. It was horrible. I couldn't even walk in the mornings. And within the second day, actually 3 times switching, because I switched in the evening and twice the next day. Then the following morning, I woke up and I walk on my feet and there was no discomfort at all. I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. I need to switch some more. So that was
Fantastic.
incredible. And it was a very empowering feeling. I just love this.
Now, the second thing you mentioned to me yesterday was also something about clarity and energy. And again, this is the most common thing I hear all the time. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, probably within the next few days, the first few days, everything started changing for me. So I started feeling a lot more energy, more clarity. I feel more confident, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, I just feel that I'm much more sharper than I was before. Almost, I was like, I wasn't dumb before, but I feel sharper and I feel like I'm focused a lot more. So.
That's brilliant. Now, similar to the other people who've spoken before, you talked about your sleep patterns. So tell us about that.
Yes, my sleep is definitely much deeper because I did have, I would get up sometimes, but I mean, now I sleep so deep and I get up in the morning and I have all this energy because I'm sleeping better. So, and my sleep is deep, like Keith mentioned as well. So I sleep through the night and it's very resting sleep. I mean, it's different than I'm used to.
Yeah, fantastic. And isn't it interesting when we're talking about all this sort of stuff, guys? We're not suggesting that we're the phoenix rising from the ashes, but what we're saying is when you increase your glutathione levels, and glutathione is critical to so many things, there's about 400 functions in the body, you're getting an instant hit of glutathione in 30 seconds from swishing in your mouth into the bloodstream, into the organs really, really quick. So you're also using the Neumi spray externally as well. What have you found with that?
Oh, wow, that is an amazing product. In 7 to 8 days, I mean, probably even sooner, but after 7 to 8 days, I start touching my face and I felt like I was touching somebody else's skin. My face feels so much smoother. The pores have decreased. I mean, it looks, the lines have decreased. I mean, it's amazing how I feel. I get a lot of compliments as well, how young I look. And when I go out with my daughters that they're 34 and 35 years old, they say, wow, which are you sisters? I was like, no, Mom. I love that. So, of course, who doesn't like that? So, yeah, I mean, my face has changed dramatically. And on the top of that, I used to have an ugly bump behind my neck that I don't know what it was. I never went to check it out. Just, a lot of people don't do that kind of stuff. I don't have time for it, I guess, for myself. So I said, let me spray that spray a few times. And I sprayed it. And maybe a couple of weeks later, that thing was completely disappeared. It wasn't there anymore. And I was like, oh, my goodness, we got something good here. So I'm spraying everything now.
That is the common thing. People are talking about apple bobbing your face into a bucket of this stuff. It's that good. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Irene, as well. So there you go, guys. We've actually had 3 people from different parts of the world with different experiences raising glutathione. Will exactly that happen to you if you use the products? Possibly not. But will something positive in the body happen when you boost glutathione levels? They say your levels decrease 10 to 15% per decade from about your 18 to 20 years of age. So, of course, boosting glutathione is going to have a positive impact in some way. So I want to thank everybody for attending today. And as I said earlier, if you've just joined us, type in the chat exactly where you watch this from. If you want more information, please refer back to the person who sent you to this interview. We are live streaming right now in 2 places, on the Neumi Facebook page. We're also doing it in the Neumi New You Facebook group. So after this, ask the person who invited you, how do I get to see all of the amazing, spectacular testimonials and before and after photographs in the Neumi New You group? And join that, and you'll get lots more information from there as well. So thank you for everybody today. Look forward to seeing you on the next interview series. All the best.